Gladiators, it's very easy to target some of the supports. They have just removed already the Grimstroke. Are there any other supports they would want to remove? Because there's not that much that you need to cover the picks that they've had so far. I don't think you want to ban a Rubik, because that feels not worthy. But is there anything in particular that you expect them to ban here?
If you're Gladiators, you've already covered the Shaman. Grim's banned out. You don't have to respect the Monkey King support here, just because you already have Mars, and Arena's pretty good against that.
The hero that we mentioned, Pugna, just to be able to have another save inside the arena and also pump up the mana into the Storm Spirit. That's the third one. This seems to be like the most popular one, I would say, even these days.
Maybe even still respect the tree, potentially. Yeah. When you have hero like a Bane already, can't really invade and help with that push early on. The Mars doesn't really hit towers. Some casual tree in the second phase for FNATIC might be the undoing of Gladiators in their kind of early desire to skirmish and take fight.
One hero that also comes to my mind that can work against CK is Monkey King. There is a Storm Spirit on the other side, so might be a bit tricky because Storms, they do love to like hunt Monkey King in the mid game pre-BKB, but they do get rid of the Raid King.
GAMIN Gladiators is one of the few teams that play Bane from the position 4 frequently as well. Is this something that you guys like to see?
I think Tofu's a really heads-up player in regards to his positioning, knowing where he needs to be on the map. And Bane is that hero where if you are in the right position at the right time, nightmaring one, gripping the other, setting up for your team, it can be devastating. But it does put a lot more pressure on the rest of your team to be able to provide something. And here, they cover it with the Enchantress, a Celery Classic. Of course, it did get nerfed in regards to what creeps you can enchant. You need to have high levels of enchant to get the bigger creeps. But in position 5, you still don't really care. You have access to your small camp. You can take over a lane creep if you have to. You still win the lane and secure it in the same way. Maybe just to a little less of...
Yeah, I was a little worried about the Enchantress, but then they played it, GAMIN Gladiators, they played against the Team Spirit, and he did so much work. Like, he was very annoying behind enemy lines, playing near the tier 3 tower. Even though with all those nerfs, her enchant and also the creeps, she still does a very good job. It's not the best hero against the Storm Spirit and the CK by any means later on, but GAMIN Gladiators, once again, they're focusing heavily on the laning stage. This is also possibly tri-lane, Ench, Bane. Like, Bane's not good, but there's always possibility when you play against the GAMIN Gladiators.
Yeah, and they do also respect ban the Tree and Protector as well. It gives value to Ench as well, where if you win your lane, you want to make that 5-6 minute move to mid lane, you're going to be able to put pressure on that tower. It isn't going to be some pesky living armor or something keeping it alive.
A lot of thought that's going into this pick for FNATIC.
Anything beefy on the offlane. I'd say Tidehunter is still an option for FNATIC. They do love to go 5-man strong, as we've seen even in the previous game.
Yeah.
And there's no real lockdown for Tidehunter, not by these 3 heroes yet.
Now start with the Hoodwink. Now, personally, I really enjoyed seeing FNATIC's and Jabs in particular, Jabs Magnus, when they were playing against Liquid. That felt like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I like watching Magnus's play because you get some hype team fights, but it seemed to fit really well as well.
Yeah, provide some empower to the CK as well. A hero that naturally wants to go like Echo BKB, so I can see it synergizing quite nicely.
Or also Beastmaster, that's one of the pairings that they love to play, just to have an extra vision for the Storm Spirit, and does allow like Hoodwink to also play from the trees. It was their pairing when they played against Thunder Awaken, sorry.
A bit funky in the lane, of course, with Enchantress, but you can happily still do the Axes build, block the camps up, but...
That's a surprise out of left field.
I'm assuming it'll support Weaver situation. They haven't played Weaver at the major thus far, but yeah, sure.
There's been some other teams that picked it up, and there's your Ember again. I mean, again, there's quite a bit of lockdown, actually.
Storm Spirit, Bushwhack, these 2 heroes, Ember doesn't feel too comfortable playing in, but...
It's nice fun. It's pretty spooky.
It feels like the same as Game 1 in regards to not the messiness of fight FNATIC can provide, but their need to use their limited stuns perfectly. Where if Ember initiates, you have to kill him off first, otherwise then you're going to have the Ench, the Bane, the Mars all having like such easy times entering a team fight. Fnatic, it's all about they need to set the pace of this game. They need to be ones initiating and entering the fight on their kind of choice.
GAMIN Gladiators, they will need some kind of tower damage. If we're talking about sieging the tier 2 towers, tier 3s, that's with the lineup that they got gonna be a problem. Enchantress does take care of tier 1 towers, but once we get to that like mid-game territory, it becomes kind of difficult. They do get rid of the Bloodseeker, something that has been on the rise for a little while. We've seen other teams throughout the major picking it.
I must say, the hero pool of the Russia this major so far hasn't been super diverse.
It's been about 4 heroes, yeah. It's not been a lot. And of the 4 heroes...
Bloodseeker 4 times or what? Yeah,
Bloodseeker's banned. What was it? Is Monkey available? Sven and PA. But honestly, if you look at just heroes he played so far, sure there's a break from Hoodwink, but I still think PA would fare pretty well, being able to jump with the Ember Spirit. CK never really threatens you until you have like the itemization or the combo with Hoodwink. And I think just the lack of lockdown again, a mobility style core that can also punish Fnatic wasting some of their limited stuns might just be a bit too much for them to handle in the mid game. It's not as if Fnatic are hitting towers though. Like, look at these heroes.
They're not. They're also very squishy. Like seeing this Hoodwink, Beaver, even Storm to one extent. They're just also very single target oriented lineup on their side.
Well, there's still that Tide in the pool that you guys mentioned if they want to go for a tanky one.
Yeah, and
of course anti-mage ban. I'm talking about elusive heroes. They have a Storm. Sip the Mine, but yeah, nice little cover ban there.
If any of these heroes are caught inside of the arena, they're gonna die. Not Storm Spirit, but these 2 supports, like even CK, they definitely feel very vulnerable because this Mars provides them lockdown, not the guarantee, depends how you use the spear, but yeah, arena to keep them in place so that the Ember Spirit, plus we still don't see the carry for GAMIN Gladiators. I wouldn't mind seeing like Monkey that I mentioned, like even Sven to be able to deal. Like once Sven goes in with the BKB, I think it becomes like very difficult. Like any BKB second item carry is gonna cause a lot of issues for Fnatic.
Yo, they ban Mag, they ban Sand King. They have a Mars for Draxio, they have an Ember mid. They're against a Storm and a Weaver Hood.
You're trying to set something up, but I'm not reading it.
The Ace Meepo. Ooh. They have provided the last 2 bans, the draft that they... Okay, there's a Tide. All right.
The Tide that we mentioned looked good, and well. now you know that Monkey seems good, I would say. Yeah. And what was the other option that we mentioned?
Did we mention Sven and PA?
Yeah.
As all the heroes that he played so far this major, but his hero pool is quite large regardless. He can play a lot of different things.
I still think PA is fine. Like,
PA does give free lane to Tide Hunter, but yeah, you gotta play 4 versus 5 pretty much until you get to like.
You can with your heroes, to be fair.
SO BKB shard timing.
Yeah.
They needed more team fight. They needed something to match up this Mars arena, and now this Tide Hunter makes a lot of sense. Also, the thing that I mentioned, that there is no real hero that Tide Hunter is afraid of in this game. Like, you know that he's getting the Ravage off.
Just a bit upset we're not seeing Ace talk. That means it's not probably going to be a spicy
Maybe he
pick.
said...
But he's thinking, he has 50 seconds, and he's now trying to solve the exact puzzle that you just pointed out. You know, sometimes you just need to have some thinking.
They're now laughing. Hope they pick the Meepo lol.
Nah.
They want the tiebreakers. Well, actually, they're going to need the tiebreaker. They go for Monkey King. Yeah. It's a shame.
Yeah, not that much surprise on hindsight, but, you know, it's stable.
You can stand your ground against Fnatic. When they initiate, you're going to most likely already have the vision, be it from Bane being aggressive, or the Ench creep, or Ember poking. It will allow Monkey most times to get the Wukongs off, and then it's kind of awkward for Fnatic to all commit onto that hero. So no, yeah, I think Gladiators, just because I see the Boom Ember, the comfort of their heroes, I feel like all of them are somewhat specialties.
Yeah.
At this point, I am slightly favoring them.
Looking at their draft, like it's a lot of team fight. Just Monkey plus Arena. It's at every single stage of the game. This is gonna be very difficult for Fnatic to fight into. Like none of these heroes wants to stay inside of it, so they need to reset. And also the burst damage is okay-ish. Storm Spirit plus Hoodwink can deal some. I think this game's gonna come down to initiation.
Yeah.
I'm favoring Gaming Gladiators lineup, but just for the sake of possibly 6-way tie, I'm gonna go with
wait.
FNATIC.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. wait, the caster curse. We have to double down on Gladiators, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Gladiators will win. Yep.
Yep.
6-way
GG.
tiebreaker.
Okay, Gladiators will 100% take this game.
Easy game.
For
Easy
sure.
game.
Easy game. No tiebreakers. Definitely
Never.
not.
None.
Isn't that right, MLP and Jonix Fire? Nothing to see here. Just Game Gladiators win, yeah? No?
Oh, 100%. I mean, Gaming Gladiators, there's no way they possibly lose this game. Absolutely no way, is there, Jonathan?
No way.
No way.
100% win rate. It should say in game the moment you see the graph, 100%.
100%.
Just by draft.
No
That's it.
chance.
No chance.
No
FNATIC, Sunvi, he's going to have to bring the whip out later on. They need those tiebreakers, and
Yes, they do.
I don't think they're going to find it, Mike. 100%.
But picture this, Jonathan. Picture this. Assuming both series right now draw, 15 more games for a tiebreaker. Do you understand how happy that makes me? I'm a real sicko, Jonathan. 15 more games. The talent in there, they'll be crying. I'll be laughing my ass off. I can't wait.
Hopefully it happens, but again, Mike, I think GG's got this. You know, the
Oh,
Gladiators.
100%. There's no tiebreaker.
There's no tiebreakers.
There's no tiebreakers.
Well, what are we doing playing this?
We're not. They've already won. It's 100%.
We'll see. Of course, FNATIC will try to not let that happen. They do have some stuns this time, Mike. You know, they've got the Bushwhack, they've got the Chaos Bolt on hand, so they can kind of get some control going this time around in comparison to game one. They were trying to execute around that team fight really nicely, though. Like, to be fair, they were looking for those angles with the egg, with the overgrowth on top, just very hard to get the timing. Gladiators are going back to those specialties. You know, the Monkey King coming out, the Boom Ember once more. It's such strong comfort. And again, as we talked with the panel, like, no chance.
Absolutely zero chance. We'll see what FNATIC can get done with this 0% chance win rate here in this game number 2. It was a great game 1, of course. FNATIC, they looked like they were off to a great start. Throughout that mid-game, Gaming Gladiators able to turn it around. See if they can kind of get that start going again here for FNATIC, with Gaming Gladiators are going to be able to get something done. Of course, the panel, Jonathan, they were very confident with the draft of GAMIN just based off that Monkey King last pick. I would agree as well. Like, when you look at FNATIC's draft, who actually wants to fight within Wukong's? Nobody.
No one does. And you're going to be stuck in that Wukong's if the arena's right. On top of it, the combination's really strong here from the Gladiators. So they've got a lot of fight potential to bring out. For FNATIC, feels like they're going to have to sit back and build up. They're held by tempo with Ravage. Big teamfight spell, just massive cooldown. And we saw that issue for FNATIC in the last game. They had to wait for Egg, they had to wait for Overgrowth, they had to wait for the Sight, they had to wait for the Split. And now they're just... It's not as many ults they need to wait for, but Ravage is just a massive one. So we'll see if they can play around that tempo. Of course, we are taking a look at that mid. Good blocks coming out from both sides. Boom and Armel up against each other. The Spirit Brothers are facing up. Ember versus Storm. I mean, we've seen this multiple times before. Storm has a way of winning. Ember has a way of playing around this as well. It is really based on the players. I think it's very mechanics-based, as you have those early timings for both sides to play with. We'll have to see if Boom can hold that performance. Armel did do pretty damn well in the TA. Storm, it feels like it should match up much better than TA does in this matchup.
I'd agree with you on that one. No. Should be very confident as well, John. The beauty of this Storm hero is you don't actually need farm. You need null talismans. It's a big difference.
Of course. You just need 1 null, 2 null, 3 null, 4 null. It's a counting game when you pick that Storm.
Yeah.
You just need to be able to count up to 4, and then you're kind of locked in. So looking at the other lanes, we saw some aggression down bot. Up top as well, you've got Raven and John Yuel. On the CK Weaver, up against Celery, on that Enchantress and Ace, on that Mars. It is a pretty oppressive lane if you can get started, and you can just always aim to enchant John Yuel. You can try to keep trading, but Nature's Attendance feels pretty good. They are trying to get really aggressive onto jabs down bot. It is a Tide versus Monkey King lane, so you can always try to focus in, build up those Jingu stacks, but it's still a Tide as well. There's a lot of durability there. There's always the threat of playing with the Gush, playing with the Anchor Smash, and the aggression can ramp up with DJ. It does take a few levels there.
Well, you're speaking of aggression, you saw how aggressive Boom was getting down that mid lane. Armel was having a rough time as bot lane. DJ gonna get chased down. It's gonna be just fine, not giving the Jingu Mastery away to Durachio on that Monkey King. Meanwhile, Celery, we have to talk about this as well, John. I had the pleasure of casting Celery's Enchantress on the first day of groups here for the Stockholm Major. This man, he has a very, very dominant Enchantress. He does so much work. The game I casted, he won every single lane for the team, and they ended up just smashing the other team. It wasn't even close.
And he's doing a great job of just managing top. He's just trading onto John well. He got the early level in Nature's Intentons to just sustain the trade. You are still seeing some decent farm come out from Raven, but he is being eclipsed by Ace. It's a much more manageable lane for Ace. You can't get as aggressive with the CK here. I mean, you could go for a value point in the Swarm for minus armor stack, and with Reality Lift when the levels are up, you don't tend to see that investment. And because you don't have like the follow-up stuns to play with the CK, it just doesn't feel like you're going to be looking for those kills. Even though the Enchantress is a very tempting target, that Nature's Attendance just allows Celery to keep standing there.
Absolutely. Very, very fun hero to have. The old Harpy Scouters. It does seem like Raven still having a decent enough time, but Ace is doing a fantastic job at this top lane in this Mars. 17-3 already in comparison to the 12-0 of Raven. And this is a CK lane, mind you, John. We've seen CK just completely dominate lanes, but to be fair, he doesn't have the greatest hero partner, right? Like, you've got a Weaver. Yeah, you can get the Swarm off, keeps vision, give you the minus armor, but it doesn't give you a great kind of setup or follow-up for the CK.
Yeah, it really doesn't, and it takes that time for the levels to go up. It does feel like the Gladiators are getting a lot more from every lane, even bot lane. We're seeing that aggression coming out from Dyrachyo. It's a great match for Monkey King. You can just lay it on. They are getting some good damage off onto Ace and starting to be a little bit more aggressive. They do have that value point in the Swarm, so the minus armor is stacking up, but it's a Mars. It's still fairly durable as well. Even if you remove the armor, it has 1000 HP with double bracer now.
Indeed it does. Dyrachyo, bot lane, trying to harass out Jabs. And of course, Jabs, he has a bit of a tough time here on the Tide. Never fun playing against the Monkey King as a Tide Hunter. It's to be expected that he might have a bit of a rough time as mid lane. Armel gonna get chased down by Boom, and he's doing a hell of a lot of damage. Not gonna be able to take Armel out, but he gets just close enough to make Armel feel very uncomfortable in this mid lane. You're already seeing Celery start to rotate on the Enchantress. This is where things might get a little bit scarier for Armel. He's going to be very cautious about this bench.
Yeah, you mentioned it the last time you saw this. They start dominating early on. They'll get the TP in from Januel.
Watch the Hurricane. Watch the Hurricane, Armel. Pushback is there. Boom. Not actually going to go for it. In fact, Armel going to make the jump in. Boom. Does he have the damage? Yeah, he does. First blood is up for the Ember. Januel could not help out. In fact, Januel needs help right now. That Wild Ring Ripper is on the chase, and Boom gets a double. Oh, it's a disaster already for FNATIC in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, it was going really well for Armel. He was finding the CS advantage, just that timely rotation out from Celery. You mentioned it. This guy on the edge just knows where to go, knows what to do. A Weaver rotating is just not threatening. Maybe you can help out Armel, maybe you can Shukuchi around, try to get some damage off. It's not enough to balance it out for Armel. I think you'd much rather DJ comes in. He is coming in now to try on Celery. He misses the bushwhack, though.
This guy's just such a good ench. He takes the courier. You're not going to kill him. You don't have bushwhack right now, Celery. He did this before. He just wastes time. He forces you to follow him around the map. He doesn't care, John. He doesn't care if he dies. He's a pos 5 ench.
Yeah, just a lot of space out, dragging DJ away from bot lane. Really just makes this lane hellish for Jabs. He's just stuck in the tree line. Dyrachyo has a free lane, 39-8. I mean, this is just free farm and Monkey King, and Jabs doesn't even find that many levels for his trouble here.
He doesn't really survive again. There you go. Januel does pick him off this time as bot lane. Jabs going to be chased down. Dyrachyo with the Boundless, but the Kraken immediately purchases it off as Jabs, trying to juke them out. Twinkle Toes here on the Tide Hunter, but maybe not quite enough as Dyrachyo is going to be able to pick up another kill. Nice pick up there from the Monkey King. Tough times once again here for FNATIC during this laning stage.
Yeah, they're going to need to just be patient, look for that opportunity elsewhere.
Ace.
Going on to Ace.
Yeah, they might at least find a nice kill on the Mars for FNATIC. Able to start rotating along with DJ to set up the kill there with the bushwhack. It does seem like they need to start matching the aggression of GAMIN Gladiators very early on.
And they need to find a way of playing around those limited suns. The panel pointed this out. It's still very limited as to the angles they can take, but they have to pile on and try to get the targets while they're still kind of split up. Gladiators aren't going to be playing around Arena Wukongs anytime soon. And they do have level 6 already up in Dyrachyo, but it's doubtful you see Monkey can go early on. Gonna try to make a play onto him.
Dyrachyo zips out. Armel getting a lot of damage off. The Remnant's doing a hell of a lot as Dyrachyo will get the Nightmare with the Boundless. He has Jingu now. Maybe he can fight back. Armel not giving up. Dyrachyo eventually is going to drop his Tofu. Unable to keep him alive, but in the mid lane, they are pushing. Boom. Trying to find DJ. Unable to catch the Hoodwink. But still, they do find the Monkey King bot lane. And again, FNATIC attempting to match the aggression of GAMIN. And so far, so good.
And they're managing to get some value out of the rotations. They are still giving a lot of space out onto GG. Boom, he's just building up on the mid, immediately going for the Javelin into the Maelstrom build-up, going for the damage output, all ready to deal with some of those CK illusions down the line. And just having this pressure onto the mid tier 1, setting up for the next push, constantly cutting the creep waves to ensure that the pressure is there. We've seen how pivotal the mid tier 1 is. We've seen that taken really early on. Gladiators, if they manage to get that done, it's just going to be free reign for Celery to keep invading the jungle, prevent the build-up for the farm that FNATIC will need in this game.
Celery again mid lane, look at this. Just walked right past. Hey, there's a mid-storm, I don't really care. I know I'm safe. No harm. They do even get the enchanted creep at the least for DJ. You old Jabs, he'll get chased down a little bit by Dyrachyo, but he's a bit tankier now. Problem is for Jabs, he really can't farm on this tide down to this bot lane. Only 2.5k net worth in comparison to the 3.7k of the MK. But now you're going to see DJ and Genuel rotate over. See if they can try to catch out the Monkey King. Thing is, you don't have really any burst damage yet. Like, DJ does not have level 6 in the Hoodwink. Naturally, it is very early. So without the Sharpshooter, I highly doubt they have the damage.
Yeah, it's just tough. And you're not going to get that many levels out as well on the FNATIC supports kind of sticking around like this. While they make that space, Boom just takes mid. So the objective does fall. The jungle's just going to be constantly invaded by Celery. He does get caught out here.
Yeah, Armel going to zip forward. Raven was there with the stun. Celery trying to heal up, but Armel going to be able to take the kill on the Storm. Happy days for him.
It does kind of compensate. Still, you're very happy here in the Gladiator Center for finding that objective. They do isolate Tofu for a bit.
DJ gonna move in. Tofu, he's a much squishier target. DJ not gonna be able to hold him down long enough. Dyrachyo does kind of zone them out on the Monkey King, just kind of scaring them off. Genuel will quell the tree of the MK with a little bit of a tango, but that's gonna be about it. Again, they just cannot really contest the Monkey King, at least not without Armel around.
No, it does feel like you're gonna need that Storm Spirit to help you out, to cut the tree line, to get the vision off. You are slowly inching towards a point where you could play around Ravage here for FNATIC. You do have level 6 up on Jabs, ready to skill it up. You've got the follow through to an extent with the additional control that your Hoodwink can't provide. And Armel's kind of set to go with double null. So the Storm is very willing to join these fights going into the BKB next. But GG, with the map objectives they have, they can just apply the pressure. They haven't been making as many moves. Boom has been focused in on just farming up into the Maelstrom. But you could argue that with the efficiency you're getting out from Dyrachyo, going into the Battle Fury here as well, you're happy no matter what. They cut the tree again though.
Yeah, Jabs, just trying to be a little bit annoying, I think. DJ, gonna show up. You do have Ravage, but you don't have the mana, and you're not gonna land the Bushwhack anyway. Again, I do think they need the Sharpshooter to really try and take down Dyrachyo. For now, he's gonna be just fine. Back into the tree line for him. Back to farming.
Just keep building up. They have been applying pressure across the map as well. Raven's been kind of allowed to farm up and kind of catch up on that CK. Farm distribution is still pretty even. They eventually do find that top, but smoke out here from the Gladiators as well. Boom, ready to go.
They're gonna try now, Boom and Tofu. Heading up top. Scan is there. They know Raven is around, but Ace gonna try for a blind spear. Not gonna be able to get it off. He did choose not to throw the arena out either, so instead, they'll find Genuel. Tofu will happily commit the Fiend's Grip just to be able to secure a first kill here, and boom, he'll take his third kill of the game on the Ember.
Yeah, he's really starting to ramp up on the Ember Spirit. Maelstrom not too far off. BKB build up right after, going to be well protected against the stuns of FNATIC. Nothing to pierce through that spell immunity. Side of FNATIC just trying to shove in bot. At least they don't lose Raven, who does switch over onto the triangle. So they are getting that build up on the CK. Armlet already up. Once this bot tier 1 falls, bot jungle opens up a little bit more for that farm. We do have to start to see when they're willing to commit Ravage. Blink is going to be the timing that they're going to be looking for from Jabs. Still a ways off, considering again his slower laning start. It's not the worst in the world, but certainly not ideal for FNATIC's end.
Certainly not, John. 2K advantage now, GAMIN Gladiators. Many objectives being taken. This is exactly what you want when you're running an Enchi with Celery. Oh, and he's speaking of, John, look what he's found. Here we go. Bring on the skellies. This is the fun part. Problem is they don't have a tower to go after with it. Then again, you could try if you stack up enough skeletons up towards the top tier 2 tower. You never know.
Yeah, could be another objective to take here for the Gladiators. They are in a position. They've got really good control in the top jungle. Their vision really just extends across that entire jungle. FNATIC get a good read. They understand they can't play there, so they're just holding on to bot, getting what farm they can from that area. Bit of a smoke out from the Gladiators, though. Ready to go. No blink up on Ace, but we've seen just Boom and Tofu alone are enough with the control they have.
Armel trying to jump Durachio. Not going to quite catch it. Will kind of talk to himself there with that voice line. Down bot side, Jabs being left behind, so Boom will rush forward onto the Tidehunter, and they'll have Ace and Tofu to help out. Boom looking for his 4th kill of the game, and he's going to get it. Very, very good performance here from Boom on the Ember. And mind you, John, he has not died once in this best of 2 yet.
Yeah, just completely dominant. Every single time he shows up, he finds that kill for himself. He's been having a lot of presence just with a Maelstrom up.
Well, Celery, sharpshooter, that's going to make it a lot easier to take him down. Genuel, the one to take the kill on the Weaver. Not that impactful of a kill, but it's something.
Yeah, it's something. Not the biggest one. Like you mentioned, though, Celery's more than willing to throw his life away, as long as he's making space, providing the room for his bigger cores to farm up, and allowing that build up here for Gladiators. He should be fairly good to go.
That Warpine Raider. The Warpine Raider got 2 of their couriers.
Ain't that nice? Celery. Yeah. Celery things, man.
What can you do? Box towards top. Armel. They are kind of hanging around the storm, but Tofu can get in range. He's got the Fiend's grip. They are going to wrap around here. Boom will be around as well. DJ, oh, chains are out. They're out of mana. Armel, he's going to just do it the old-fashioned way, but the Fiend grip's going to connect. Boom says it all, John. It's an owl kind of moment.
Yeah, sometimes you get caught off double null. You don't get to zip as far as triple or quad null. So it is fairly punishable, and they don't have anything to top up the storm midway. FNATIC, they're starting to lose a lot of ground. Again, we haven't seen the commitment from the Ravage coming through. We haven't seen those big teamfight plays. We haven't seen them be able to find a couple of ganks in a while outside of the support kills they've found. And that's all just good news for the Gladiators. They're getting that build up. Diracho is just not being harassed at all for building into this Battle Fury, which is flying out now. FNATIC do have the blink up on Jabs. Perhaps this is the moment they can play. They will go for the smoke play now.
Here we go. Armel gonna zip forward. Who has he found? It's gonna be Ace with the Vortex Raven. They'll stun him up. They might just leave Ace behind. Tofu is trying to help as the arena is gonna be dropped. Sharpshooter. It doesn't connect, but it won't matter. They do pick up their kill here with Armel, and that's a much bigger pick-off here for FNATIC. Much better quarter find for themselves.
It's what they needed. They don't even have to expend a Ravage. Just an opportunistic kill coming out with Raven on hand with his own stun. So they still have that blink reveal to play with on Jabs. They must have seen that item up in the Tide, though. Boom, immediately TPing out as well. Not going to see that opportunity. They don't even manage to fully commit for that mid shove in. FNATIC still on the hunt.
They find Raven, trying to get Celery, but the Rift just not connecting as they finally get it. Celery, he'll get stunned up. DJ, he'll have the sharpshooter available. He'll happily take the kill for himself. It's going to also allow Raven to now have the full Echo Saber up with the armlet. This is where things start to get really fun for Raven. He finally has some damage output.
He's got some damage, he's got a lot of HP on hand with all these strength items up. 2.4k with the armlet on. So he should be able to survive a little bit more in the middle of these fights. Still feeling like a really strong game for the Gladiators. As mentioned, Battle Fury already up for Diracho, going straight into the BKB. And once you've got that Monkey King BKB, we should start to see some of those arena combinations come out. Like, you have nothing to stop the Monkey from just standing in the middle, getting the damage off. Your physical output in Wukong's, it's just not going to feel amazing with all that added armor to the Monkey King.
Diracho still having a very good time this game though, John. Battle Fury up, just farming towards the BKB. Meanwhile, you look at Celery. Oh, he's having a good time himself as Tofu. I hate that you can do this with Shadow Amulet, by the way. I just hate it. He can just go invis basically permanently as he walks, and you just can't catch him.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do. It's very enjoyable. I mean, if you can't beat it, Mike, join it.
True.
Buy shadow ammo. Walk across the lanes.
But there's no damage.
No damage. You're a support, though.
Still no damage.
You're right. That's Southeast Asian mentality.
Exactly right, John.
Always build Dagon and supports. First item.
Absolutely. Going into it. This Boom Ember, he's going to become a real problem, John. Like, you've got Maelstrom up, BKB's coming very, very soon, and things could get very scary after that. Like, Boom, he's 5-0-0, he hasn't died. This whole series, he's currently 11-0 and some kind of assist. It's a very scary Ember Spirit to play against, and right after that BKB, he's going to have the Aghanim Scepter. And that's where the damage output gets kind of ridiculous.
It just skyrockets, keeping him down. It's a tough call for you to completely rely just on the Hoodwink. Even the CK stun is dodgeable with that Chaos Vault. So finding the angle in feels like a lot of that's going to be on Jabs with the Tide. He's got to play with that Blink. We still haven't seen a Ravage come out. FNATIC has been very patient with looking for that opportunity to fight. At the same time, it just feels like you're not getting anything at all with his Tide if he's just farming.
I mean, Jabs has been very conservative, hasn't he? Maybe now with the RML BKB coming out, they might want to move. You've had that Blink Ravage for so long. Might be about that time. So they are going to run into GAMIN Gladiators in their own jungle. Ace is around. Hanging around that Roshan pit. FNATIC, they're not going to opt to pop a smoke yet, but they are meeting up in the mid lane. Perhaps that's where it happens. Meanwhile, Roshan has somewhat been started here by Ace. They can't really commit for this.
They back off. Smoke's already committed from FNATIC. Seeing that Roshan happening with the bugs. But might not find a target. This is still an opportunity for a big Ravage, but GG are kind of split up here.
FNATIC going to move in. Durachio, though, is going to break the smoke on Armel. Will spring in, chains out onto the Weaver. Genuel going to be just fine as Tofu, looking for a Nightmare, but can't get within range. Meanwhile, Ace, he'll go for a run. Nice spear away on Jabs. Now, a lot of hesitation from both sides, but more so FNATIC, who are the ones that are trying to find this big initiation. The thing is, they want a big Ravage in this team fight, and as you can see, GAMIN, they're keeping some nice distance between themselves to not allow that Ravage to come out from Jabs. And so instead, Tofu, he'll show up top lane. Mel, Fiend's Grip is up. He's going to be very wary. He does see them with that Observer Ward just for a moment. Armel does back off, but no, goes back in. Instead, they'll try. Boom. Can he get a chains off? Armel does get chained up. Can they get within range for a Fiend's Grip? They might just, but no, they don't. Tofu not going for it because they knew the Tide was there with the Ravage available. It would have been cancelled immediately.
Yep, they play it safe as well on Gladiators, and FNATIC for their part, they're managing to get that space out for Raven. He's going to have his own BKB up. So you've got Armel and Raven ready to go. On the Gladiators end, you're also really close to the Racho having his BKB. So Ember BKB done, Monkey BKB done, Mars BKB done, Spell Immunities all there across the board. It does feel a lot bigger for the Gladiators, as they will go for that smoke around this item now.
GAMIN, they're going to try. Down towards the bot side they go. Genuel, the only one really showing on the map for FNATIC. Instead, they'll head up north towards the triangle. GAMIN not going to find anyone there either. Armel going to hang around the opposite side of the map. GAMIN, they're not giving up though. They're still chasing him down. Armel, he might be spotted pretty soon as Durachio. No, Armel, he's going to zip in. He'll try for the fight. Ravage is there. Quick BKB up from Ace, but Durachio dropping so low. Boundless out. It's not going to be enough, but they've got Armel. Fiend's Grip is there to hold him down, and Jabs will drop to Boom on the Ember. As Raven, he popped his BKB, but he cannot help out his team. He needs to run. Boom's on the chase. He does have chains up. He will lock him down and force out the Phantasm. It's a great fight for GAMIN Gladiators. They'll find a 2-for-1. DJ, he's going to keep trying. Raven, still around. Double chains out. They might be able to keep this fight going. Ace, he does get a nice shield as DJ is going to give a third kill away now to GAMIN. They go back in trying to find a pick-off, and they end up giving one away.
Great punishment out from GAMIN. They've worked their BKBs really well. Very fast fingers coming out from the side of Ace. Just managing to protect himself from that Ravage, set up for the arena. Sure, they lose their Monkey King, but you're much happier keeping down those win conditions of FNATIC. You don't manage to kill off Raven, but you prevent that build-up coming through for Armel. And you waste the Ravage of Jams. That's his first Ravage, it feels like, in this entire game. So you see that opening now. Go into the Roshan. You know that wide AoE control is gone from FNATIC. Armel could still try to make a play. His BKB's off cooldown. There's a bit of a timing here. Roche, not the fastest in the world. For the Gladiators, FNATIC do have some time to respond.
But they do. Roshan still about halfway down. Raven, he'll show up. DJ, he'll get the vision with the Acorn shot. Got an idea of how low this Roshan is. Armel, he could go for a zip in. He might have to go soon. There's your swarm out. They've got the vision perfectly on Roshan as Armel will zip through. He'll try. Aegis, Duraccio, he takes it away. Armel could not click fast enough as Boom will jump in, and they've lost Raven again. Duraccio, he'll go for a bit more now, but DJ will bushwhack him up. Remnants forward. Boom, he wants the chains out. DJ was spotted, but Boom, he's not within range. It won't matter. They got the Aegis. They got Raven. You couldn't be happier.
You absolutely couldn't be. FNATIC again trying to force that a little bit. Just a bit of an early zip out from Armel. Not being quick enough to take the Aegis away. Gladiators have a lot they can do here. Start to aim for the tier 2s. They could look to force another team fight while Ravage is down. Not the longest time left for FNATIC though, so they're going to have their counter fight ready in a few seconds. I think the big concern right now for FNATIC is that they're not getting as much out from Raven as they'd want to. The CK doesn't feel durable. Jonuel does get caught out for a moment.
Tofu, he's got no detection. Jonuel, oh no, he tries for a TP out, but they've caught him. Time lapse away. He is wasting a bit of time here on this Weaver. Duraccio gonna have the vision with the tree dance. Vagrant in now out as well, but Jonuel somehow still safe. Still somehow surviving, but eventually they'll lock him down. Rest of FNATIC has shown up. They are going to try for a defense. You've got Ravage up. Duraccio, he's going to be the first one taken down, but he's got his BKB. He's fine for now. Arena, it is placed defensively as Armel is going to be locked down. Boom, trying to blow him up. Jabs, he can't Ravage yet. Eventually he'll throw it out. They'll force the fight. Celery, he will get taken down, but it's not the kill they wanted. That's not it. Boom, even avoids the bushwhack. Not going to allow the lockdown. It's a 1-for-1, but you gave your Storm for a pos 5 inch. It's just a nothing kill.
Yeah, Celery doesn't care. The side of Gladiators don't really care that the Enchantress goes. They blow a couple of BKBs, but they find a Storm. They deny FNATIC the chance to defend their tier 2, and they still hold on to the Aegis. So Gladiators still have that condition to look for other tier 2s, to start thinking about the high ground here if they wanted to. And for FNATIC, not having Ravage means you're not going to have some time to defend. There was a lot of patience out there from Jabs to try and get that Ravage off in that last fight, just not really finding the clean angle to do so.
Yeah, non-stop action here as we can't even have a look at the replay. There's both teams running at each other constantly. More so, GAMIN Gladiators just not willing to give a break over to FNATIC. The 7k net worth advantage. They understand how powerful they are right now. FNATIC in a bit of an awkward pickle here. Still needs so much more farm on their cores, and it's just not coming. They just don't have the space at the moment.
Yeah, there's just no space to build up. Gladiators just taking complete control on the map. FNATIC still have that tier 1 down bot.
Oh, no. He zipped in. Tofu was waiting with the Shadow Amulet. They've got the damage as well. Oh, Tofu, that's brilliant.
Yeah, he's been toying around with that invisibility for a while. He finally finds the angle. Armel overextends, gets tipped by Duraccio. And it's getting a bit tough for FNATIC. Their high ground hold is pretty decent. You have Ravage, you have Bushwhack with the Acorn shot. Oh.
Yeah, Jabs. Gonna be forced to BKB up. Ace, he might be okay with that. Duraccio, I believe, has an Aghanim Scepter on the way as well on the Monkey King, so now the statues are coming out. It's going to be a painful experience once again for FNATIC.
I don't know what you hope for now in FNATIC's end. Maybe try to force a high ground fight, hold your position there, pray for a good Ravage, try to find the angle. The BKB usage from the Gladiators has, again, been very on point. It's been tough to find that opportunity to catch all the cores with BKB off. You're only going to catch 1 or 2, and FNATIC's always cut off from trying to follow through because of that spell immunity. So, for FNATIC, it feels like it all hinges on Jabs to somehow make this happen, to maybe smoke in and get a surprise Ravage off. Gladiators has just been so disciplined. They've always stayed split apart. They've always been on point with their reaction towards the BKB. And once the Ravage is blown, there's just not much. Maybe when you get something like, say, a Storm Axe down the line. With the AoE Vortex, that could provide the setup there for the follow-through from Jabs and then follow-through from GJ to give that opportunity for the damage from Raven. That's still a lot of farm away here, Mike.
Armel thinking about zipping in on Duraccio. Duraccio will see him, but they will go right in for the Vortex on the Monkey King with the Bushwhack, but they're not confident that they have enough damage to deal with him. He has the Aegis up anyway for another 10 seconds, but Armel trying to hold him down. Has he gone too far? He'll zip away. Boom with the Deso. Wants to keep going. Will go on to Jabs and force another BKB out. Is DJ? He's going to try for a sharpshooter. It's not going to connect on anything.
They cut their losses there on the side of Fnatic at the least. They will go for a smoke re-engage. Maybe hoping someone overextends.
They've got the Ravage. Duraccio, he's watching all of this though. He's giving all the information away. Zace, Spear is out. Big Ravage though. 5 heroes getting caught in that as they will rush in now. They're onto Ace, but the BKB, it's there in time. Raven, he's the one that needs to back off at the arena. Ace will hold him down. Raven, he wants to try to fight, but he has no chance. No choice in the matter. Armel will eventually find Ace, but now he's out of mana in the Fiend's grip. Tofu will hold him down. Another disastrous fight for Fnatic. GAMIN Gladiators, they are just playing so clean.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they went for that smoke play. I was surprised. DJ... Oh,
A triple kill. Boom. He's now 9-0-6, John. Still unkillable throughout this best-of-2 series.
I mean, Fnatic's just... They draft these supports that somehow have stuns, like say Hoodwink. With a Bushwhack, it's just not very reliable. Catching the Ember out, it hinges on Jabs. He did get that good Ravage, but the damage output wasn't enough. Raven runs in, he doesn't manage to burst down. He focuses on the Mars instead of trying to go for the Ember. Mars is still very durable with his item build-up, and they just miss out. So now with the respawns coming through, they don't have Ravage. There's no threat for the Gladiators. They're still free to just keep pushing. And for Fnatic, it's tough. I'm not sure what the angle is.
It's real tough. Armel gonna try. Duraccio actually dropping very low. Might drop. Glimmer Cape, it's not gonna be enough. They clearly still have the damage. Duraccio maybe tipping a little bit too early there on Chabs. Does end up paying for it, but they do get away with one lane of barracks. It's not all doom and gloom here for GAMIN.
No, definitely not doom and gloom for GAMIN. They still have the substantial 15k net worth lead. You still have to respect that, you know, while your BKB's on cooldown, Armel does have a lot of output. He does have the Kaya up, some Spell Amp underway. Really helpful to find those kills. Really good angle from near the fountain to get that zip damage off. For the Gladiators, so it's an opportunity to reset. Roche, in 30 seconds, that will maybe line up depending on how the respawn is with the respawn of the Racho. They could go for the next Roche. They've got wards to kind of cover that area. They've still got the outpost up top. For Fnatic, this is an opportunity for them as well. Ravage is going to be off cooldown in about 10 seconds. They could try to look for that one big play once more. And if the game does drag on long enough, Jabs will find the money for a refresh. So you will have the double Ravage threat. Eventually, you're going to have the Ags up on Armel. And at some point, Raven's also going to be able to finish up the Heart. So the durability of the lineup goes up. The control does take a step up as well with a refresh and the Ags coming out on the Storm down line. The question now for Fnatic is how well can you hold until those items come up? Because we've seen a couple of opportunities from them. But now the Gladiators, they're going on the aggressive once more.
Yeah, they're going to try 5-man smoke up. GAMIN Gladiators going to rush straight to the north. Fnatic, they are as a unit. 5-man smoke, we're in a 5v5 situation as Jabs will frontline. He's a little bit low on mana there for the Ravage as Ace gonna move in. Jabs, you can't afford to die. The BKB is there, but boom, he has a Deso and a double damage. He's got plenty of right click as he's waiting for another Sleight of Fist. Jabs still fine, will walk away. They're unable to secure the killers. Now the arena is down, but it does not catch out DJ. In fact, they got the Monkey King, and now the Ravage comes out. Jabs onto all 5 heroes, but can they take the team fight? Duraccio barely walking out of there. The Swarm, it'll give the vision. The Spirit Vessel taking him out. Armel, he'll take care of it as the Fiend Grip. It'll hold Armel down. Where's Fnatic? They may have just died back on the Storm. In fact, they're getting wiped out anyway. No matter how many people Jabs finds in the Ravage, it just doesn't seem to matter. And look at them, John. They're just having a laugh. They don't even care.
I mean, it's just been a dominant performance up from the Gladiators. From game 1 into game 2, FNATIC,
GG.
they had some weaknesses in the draft there from FNATIC's end. Like game 1, lacking that control in their draft, hoping on the cooldowns of their ultimates, hoping for that wombo combo sort of play. Game 2 here, kind of rectifying that, right? Like they go into the Hoodwink, they go into the CK, they've got some individual stuns on these heroes, and GG just come out on top. They managed to close out with that Monkey King, the Rotray special coming through, has the great matchup in lane. They managed to work every single lane to their advantage, and the side of FNATIC just didn't have a great response. Like you did still hit those early timings. Jabs was just completely shut out, right? Like our Tide, the lane was just not great up against the Monkey King. The blink timing was super late. We didn't see a Ravage even after like 2 minutes with a blink.
Yeah.
It took so long for the side of FNATIC to take initiative, and that just gave GAMIN Gladiators all the room in the world to do what they want.
And you really see the contrast between the faces of the teams. I mean, GAMIN, they look so happy, so relaxed. FNATIC, slouched shoulders, no good posture, John. They didn't look happy. So somebody will have some words for them after this game. Bit of a rough performance here for FNATIC. Obviously, they're still placing decently in the groups, and I actually want to know, do we have a result for the other series to find out if we have tiebreakers? We have a 4-way tie coming up. Okay, so the other series does draw. We're not going to have a 6-way tie, but we do still have a 4-way tie coming up here tonight. That still excites me a little bit, John. Obviously, we don't get the maximum amount of games, but 4-way tie, it's still pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's damn good, but you wanted to see a 6-way tie. You wanted to see 15 best of ones, Mike. That's where the real joy is at.
Yeah.
4-way tie, it's still good.
Yeah,
But it's not as good as the 6-way tie. Come on, man.
It's still high. Well, we'll have to settle, Jonathan. With that, though, congrats to GAMIN Gladiators. A rather dominant victory, I want to say. Just seemed like they had their game plan and they executed to perfection. Did Boom die once? No, he did not, John. He went 16-0 and I don't know how many assists throughout this best-of-2 series. A perfect series overall for the Ember. If we're going to have an MVP, may as well give it to him. He had a perfect game. With that, though,